Welcome back. Let's bring in Ms. Ademola Oshodi, is a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs and Protocol. He joins us virtually from Dakar in Senegal. Ms. Ademola, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start from where we left off. And I know those of you in the diplomatic service, you know, you deal with a lot of tact and diplomacy, but now Nigerians have laid it bare on some of the names. I'm just going to reel out some of the names that have been raised as concerns on that list. Of course, the president has the discretion to appoint whoever he wants by Section 171 of the Constitution. It's now for the National Assembly to say, President, you were right or wrong on this one. But the question some people are asking, what was going through the mind of the president in naming these people, sending this list to the National Assembly? You work closely with him, so maybe you give an explanation, because people are questioning character, they are questioning competence, they are questioning history and all of that. They mention names like Jimo Ibrahim, Reno Mokri, Mahmoud Yakubu, Okeze Ikpeazu, Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi, Femi Fani-Kayode, and you know, all of that. What do you make of it? How is the government responding to this?
Well, Jeffrey, thank you very much. I'm not actually representing the president or the administration. I do work with the president, but a lot of my comments are basically my own views. So let's clarify that. The president has the prerogative to hire whoever he wants based on his own interest and his own relationship with those individuals. So this is, you know, it's basically his prerogative. We can question whoever, however. I'm pretty sure there's in every politician or any public service holder, either in the past or current, there's always something. There's always somebody's foot you stepped on, or there's always some controversial action you took that may not agree with people. And of course, you have the media, which we have a very robust media in Nigeria, and we have the opposition that would, you know, question, especially the opposition, question anything that the administration does. So it's understandable, but it doesn't necessarily mean their comments or their views what it appears to be. In all parts of the world, the president has the right to appoint non-career and even career diplomats, including ambassadors or high commissioners. He has chosen his reasons. It could be political loyalty. It could be the national service, maybe rewarding people that serve the country. It could also be expertise in another field. It could be, for instance, people with security background, people with great relationship with the country they've been sent to, people with, in some cases, ethnic or state balancing, so ensure there's a balance, as we say, federal character in the appointment. So no one is going to find individual appointee without any issue around it. It's just not possible. Even career diplomats will have some issue. We're all humans. But the key here, Jeffrey, what we need to focus on, are they law-abiding citizens? Have they been convicted of any crime? You know, and have they been banned or from any sort of public service? And none of these individuals are. And we have the Senate that is going to vouch or is going to verify these individuals. Whether people say, "Oh, the Senate is the rubber stamp." Well, unfortunately, we have a system of government whereby there are 3 layers of government, and they have to vet and do their job. So we should not get excited about these appointees and try to find something blemish their record to say, "Oh, they're not bona fide." Let the court answer that, and then then we can take it from there. So it's really rather unfair and almost, I think, borderline libelous to start damaging people's character, and whereby they've not been convicted of any crime.
Well, you have said in some form of acknowledgement just moments ago that, you know, whether it's career or even whether it's non-career or career, people will always have issue. And speaking of issues. I'm thinking that in, vetting or in consenting to this agreement through the agreement letters that will be sent as confirmation, that these names will be subjected to some form of scrutiny by the international community where they're being sent to. So what impact would this have on Nigeria's image when certain things come up, in your view?
I don't think it will be an issue. I think we are dealing with a Nigerian issue. Once we send an ambassador or ambassador designate to a country, the country will do their own vetting. And generally speaking, they approve the ambassador that's been sent to them. So it's the worst scenario. There will be a delay based on administrative or whatever reason. So that's another vetting process that will take place at the country that they're going to. We have ambassadors designated in Nigeria right now from different countries, waiting for the president to approve their papers for them to be full-fledged ambassadors or high commissioners. So it's a process, but generally speaking, most ambassador designates are honored by the countries they've sent to. So that should not be a problem. The key is, are they convicted individuals by court of law? Do they have interest against the country they've been sent to? So these are the considerations those countries will look at, and I'm very sure the presidency will ensure that all that is clarified before they send people to places. So it's a natural process, but I understand the whole attention and all the hullabaloo about what we're going through right now with the ambassador appointments. It's been a while, it's been 2 years, but the president took his time. There's other pressing domestic issues that he has to deal with. We have to reform our economy. We have to ensure we have ambassadors to go to places where they can be funded properly. Debts have to be paid. For financial debts of missions, they have to be upgraded. And regardless of the current situation with I think the American government and maybe the need right now to have people in Washington D.C., London, and etc. It's still something the president has been planning to do. If you check your recent communication, the president met with former CPC politicians and said he was still trying to dot his I's and cross his T's to ensure he has the right balance of people, political people for this ambassador role. It's just, it's natural. Ambassadors, non-career ambassadors are politicians. They are people with political backgrounds, or they have a personal relationship with the president. It's everywhere around the world, whether it's Donald Trump that puts his friends in as ambassador, or maybe in British government, Peter Mendelsohn, the guy that had the issue with Jeffrey Epstein. He was the British ambassador to the United States, and he was a close Labour Party stalwart. He was sent to Washington, D.C., and has been sent back now due to the controversy over Epstein. So you can tell the fact that, and Mendelsohn had a lot of controversy, if you know the guy, a lot of controversy over his political life. There was one thing or the other, resigning from Parliament, resigning from Tony Blair's government, right, etc., etc. But he was a political appointment. I'm not saying we should send people of bad character abroad, but I'm just saying it's the nature of the beast. It has to be the discretion and the political decision of the president or heads of state.
All right, Mr. Oshodi, having looked at that list, I want you to speak to this pointedly. Is this the best we can come up with?
This is the best the president has seen for the interest of his administration and for Nigeria. I can categorically tell you that. Whether you accept it or anybody else accepts it, it is his discretion. And we'll see at the end of the day how much they achieve their goal. And that's what the ultimate goal is.
Entirely. Pardon me. There are two different things here. Is this the best we can come up with? It's different from this is the best the president thinks. So I'm asking you, is this the best we can come up with? as a nation?
This is the best. We voted for a president, and we voted for him to make his decision. This is the best the president has chosen, and this is the best that was for his interest and for his success of his administration. Yes.
So in other words, you're saying it's not the best because they're the best, but it's the best because the president has chosen them.
No. You can't. No, it's not. You don't have that subjective mind. We voted for a president. We gave him the prerogative to choose his people. You or anybody cannot say the best. Why? Well, we are not chosen to lead this country. So we have to take the president for his word. This is the best for his administration, to make sure his administration succeeds, whether for economic or for security or for just cultural needs. He sends his people out to represent his government.
So the INEC chairman,
and I don't think we should be the one to judge.
The former INEC chairman, Mr.
Your judgment of what is the best is different from mine.
Certainly.
So how can you...
It's just a question. I wanted to get your thoughts on whether you think this is the best, and I think you've put that through. Let's speak about the former INEC chairman. I recall that during the administration of former president, late now, Muhammadu Buhari, it took about 4+ years, or even 6 years, before he even appointed Professor Tahiru Jega on the board of the governing council, rather, of University of Jos, and eventually, of course, President Buhari and President Tinubu also appointed him. So don't you think it's too soon, particularly after what has been one of the most contentious elections in Nigeria's history?
The most contentious election in Nigeria's history was the early elections from 1999, 2003, especially the election 2007 that brought in the President Yar'Adua. You remember the rioting and even the Supreme Court case that was split regarding the decision. So historically, no, 2023 was not the most controversial election in Nigerian history. So let's clarify that. But no, the election was contested, it was competitive. So that's why we had this heated politics. We had 3 major candidates that someone split the votes. So therefore, people cannot accept the decision of the electorate. And therefore, people still go on and on about the election. So no, Muhammadu Jega, I think, did a good job. You can't look at him in the 2023 election and say, oh, his tenure was bad. What about the election before that? What about his other elections in state governments, state governors elections, in all those middle of the administration elections that happen in around the country. So no, I think he had an exemplary service, and he should be rewarded for his time to.
Mr. My apologies. We're totally out of time. We wish we had more time with you. I think the argument is not a legal argument necessarily. It's a moral argument. For instance, somebody like Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, I agree with you. 2007 was the worst election we ever had since 1999. Seconded. Another next controversial was 2023. The reason is simple. INEC failed on its promise at a very important moment. That in itself has taken us way back in terms of confidence of citizens. And supremacy belongs to the people who elected the president. So that is the premise. So sometimes it's not +1 and 1 that works. So the government needs to understand the panoramic angle to be able to know that this is the view. But we must thank you, Ademola Oshodi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Protocol. Always a delight to have you on the show on your expertise. Thank you, sir. And enjoy your trip.
Thank you.